We're about to transform this into this. I built this valley almost 4 months ago now, and the whole time it's been here, I've just felt that it's unfinished. In the background, I've been tinkering in creative mode, and I've just been trying to get the terrain to look more like the photos that I have of this valley that really inspired it to begin with. The inspiration were photos that I took myself while I was backpacking through Vietnam in Ajang. So the spot definitely holds a lot of meaning for me. So I just don't think that the smooth moss that I have like this is really doing that memory justice. In Vietnam, the mountain slopes were just like absolutely littered with dark rock fragments, kind of like what I have here holding the farms. And it just had bushes and plants and even small trees that were just growing on the sides of cliffs wherever it could find a place. So today we're sorting that problem out and putting that extra bit of effort in that will take this build to the next level. The first phase of that is material gathering. First things first, I need a lot of deep slate. After 3 separate sessions, we now have 2 double chests of deep slate. Next thing we need is a bunch of terracotta, 3 double chests worth. We also need mud, so I decimated my entire local mangrove swamp. Yeah, sorry about that one. In the foliage, I'm going to use a bunch of leaves, so starting with mangrove leaves, then oak, and finally azalea. I also decided to use nether sprouts for the first time. Very sparsely, but just to add some vibrancy to the foliage. And naturally, I'll also need a heck of a load of grass for that foliage, so I decimated a savanna for everything that it had. And finally, I AFK'd at my moss farm overnight because I need a bajillion moss blocks. The other materials I need will come from some new farms. So in this little village here, I have a bunch of farms. I think I already had this in here, which is my lichen farm. So you just sit still and shear off the lichen. And by no means any of these farms the most efficient, but they're my design, and I suck at redstone, so they're pretty cool to me that I even got anything going. Okay, there is no farm in this one. This house here has some zombie villagers that are supposed to be whatever that does, but I trade iron with them. This damn zombie got in and broke down my door, so I'm gonna have to fix that at some point. Anyway, this is not meant to be still running. Yeah, so this one, what's this one? Ferns and grass. This one's a little bit funky, and it's not the most ideal thing, but how I do it is I sit here in the water, and you have your fern or grass there, and you just hold down right and left click right here. You try to get the perfect angle to where you're not in the water bouncing that much, but you're just outside of the range of that stair. And then you just hold down left and right, and you'll have to flip this lever. And because you're going outside of your range, it like resets your right click, left click. I don't know. I did watch a couple of YouTube videos on it and then tried to design my own thing, but it's very simple. Just on the other side of here, we just have a very simple redstone clock where we've got the observers that go into each other. And to turn it on and off, I just have the lever here. Yeah, so they're not the most efficient farms, but it kind of makes me more productive in a way. Because I'll sit there and AFK, and you kind of can only go until the shears break. So I just go and make myself... It would seem that we've lost another door. Interesting. But I kind of just go and make myself a coffee before I run out of bone meal and that sort of stuff. Plus, it is also getting very close to my move to France, so packing to move country was a big thing that I've been doing in that inefficient farm extra time. This one is all of these bushes, so you just chuck one in here, and then it's the same system where the observers create a clock, you turn it on like that. And then you sit here with shears, and it's the same thing where it's just outside your render distance or your reach, and it just goes in here. There's a hopper underneath. So yeah, it's just not efficient, but that's okay. I do eventually want to add interiors to these, because I do have, all of my doors have been stolen. This is disgusting behavior from zombies. I think it's because I've been AFKing around this area. This is also a mud farm, but I don't really use that anymore because I found a mangrove swamp that I just decimate. I believe we don't have anything in there yet. And then down here I have some more villagers, which thankfully their door's here because I think technically that is open, so the zombies can't break it. I'll need to do with all the other doors. Yeah, I kind of want to add all little interiors like this one, because this is really fun. A little armor area where they've got chains to hang whatever they're making. And plus, I get a bunch of iron from these guys, which is fun. Well, no, I get a bunch of emeralds from these guys, from my iron. Which that brings me on to the next farm. Down here is where I have my iron farm. It's in this building. It is underneath me right here. We have the iron farm. So it all ends up down here. Very nice. And I have a lot of iron. But the newest farm is this one here, and this one was the most painful one because it's so inefficient. We have a cactus farm, and I needed so much cactus because I need terracotta, green terracotta, and concrete. So actually I'm going to take all of this. And this is like overnight I AFK'd here. Solid like 8 hours, and this is all I got. It's about, I think about a stack an hour is what my rates are. Because I think it's 3 layers, just like that, stacked on top of each other. So there's only, I think 14 cactus that are growing. Not overly efficient. But again, it just like, I don't really care. It works. Doesn't need to be perfect. I can expand it if I need to, and I might eventually if I need crazy amount of cactus again. I've decided that I've been needing to just kind of chill and play some Minecraft for fun recently. And so I have played Minecraft, and I built in some rocks in our little forest bed here. Just like very simple, mossy cobble, hail moss, and tough. I was very heavily inspired by Cake Space over on EchoCraft. His terraforming is just gorgeous. Hopefully I'm showing you some screenshots right now, and I wanted in on some of it. It was definitely good to take a breather. That was kind of what I was doing with the farms too. Normally I'd record that process, but I just decided to chuck on some other YouTube videos and sort out some materials. It's definitely good to take a breather, and I think it helped me plan out this video in a weird way because I just sort of let the video shape itself rather than trying to plan anything concrete before I even have an idea. In other news, I have a newish Discord server that's linked in the description, and I want everybody to join because why not? And if you are already joined, thank you. You're a pretty cool fella. Also, I gathered 3 wither skulls. I have all of the materials gathered that I should need. I still need sand. So now I have all the materials gathered that I will need. Let's get a wriggle on and give this valley the makeover that it deserves. Before I yap about the terrain, let's watch me kill the wither. This is sort of out of order, but I ran out of deep slate, so I used this method of killing the wither where we manipulate the wither into gathering us a load of deep slate. You know, this is what I actually envisioned when I first started this project. Not the just moss flat. I'm kind of looking there, buddy. Not just like the moss flat, smoothed out bowl that I had. I'm really happy with how this has turned out. And my favorite part is this little ring here that I'm thinking I do need to build something here that creates like a nice little framing for it. Or even going the other way on the other side, maybe. Something around there. I feel like that could be really cool. But for now, I'm just like so stoked with the improvement that I've made with this area. There's still definitely touch-ups that it needs, like that area there actually seems really quite bland. Don't know why it just stops at that layer. And I might just every now and then find a block or two that I want to switch out or add in. And I think that that's something that I want to do where I keep it very fluid, where there's no like finished product. It's going to evolve slowly over time. Even by adding this layer with the actual mountain veins and the foliage, that's like the next evolution to what the smooth bowl that I originally had. The other thing I'm thinking is that I don't like this water. I know that you can put crops on like unfertilized land and bone meal it to make it grow. So I think I might do that just because when you look at this from the top view, it does get kind of ugly with those water splotches, same as this side. And the other thing is that it is just like so bright green, which I'm not a huge fan of. It is just a massive contrast to everything else that I have going on here. So I'm trying to think if there's something, a better crop to have there. I can just harvest these and replace it all out. And you know, it's not a bad thing by any means, but I did end up with like so much extra stuff. Like I don't know how I ended up with a full double chest of mud and green concrete. Yeah, it's not a bad thing. I extra materials for the next project now, and if I want to extend out this sort of terraforming, then I can very easily do that with the materials. And I do apologize for how long it has taken for this episode to come out because I was trying my best to get it done before I made my move over to France, but unfortunately I did not organize my time very well and I wound up having to finish it off here in France at the moment. This is recorded from my new setup for the next 6 months. It's very interesting, and I did know that the first couple of weeks being here in France, like I think it's nearly been 3 weeks now. I knew that I wouldn't have a lot of time because obviously settling in and kind of getting sorted out over here, I wasn't going to have a lot of time to record much. But I did get the foliage finished. I think that where I left it off, I had just finished the actual block placement and maybe just started the foliage, but I finished it off and now 3 weeks later I'm getting the final recordings done. But I do think that from here on I should be at least a little bit more consistent and able to record a bit more because I'm settled in and it's now about there is so many mobs in these walls. Yeah, it's just about finding that routine now and I think I'm getting there. So I do hope that you enjoyed the video, even though it was a bit of a long wait. But if you enjoyed it, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and let me know if you have any suggestions or ideas on what to do next. Bye-bye.